All right, welcome back, and thanks a bunch to Papa Jojo for giving us some fitness tips this morning as we celebrate Independence. This is like Independence Boxing Day.
Yeah,
Independence
like a day
Boxing
after
Day.
Christmas.
I know.
Yeah.
So we are in the house enjoying and eating rice.
Yeah.
But we need to actually hear from the president. Yesterday, he actually gave a broadcast, a speech, and the speech don't actually raise a lot of mixed reaction. Why are people reacting negatively to the president's speech? Make we hear from the president himself.
We should remind ourselves of the recent journey from 1999 to 2015, when our country happily returned to democratic rule. However, in spite of oil prices being an average of 100 United States dollars per barrel and about 2.1 million barrels a day, that great piece of luck was squandered and the country's social and physical infrastructure neglected. We were left with no savings and huge infrastructure deficit. The APC government's campaign, rallying cry to restore security, rebalance the economy, and fight corruption was not all rhetoric. The country must first be secured. The economy must be rebalanced so that we do not depend on oil alone. We must fight corruption, which is Nigeria's #1 enemy. Our administration is tackling these tasks in earnest. In the past 2 years, Nigeria has recorded appreciable gains in political freedom. A political party at the center losing elections of state governor, National Assembly seat, and even state assemblies to the opposition parties is new to Nigeria. Added to these are complete freedom to associate, to hold, and disseminate opinions. Such developments clearly attest to the country's growing political development. But like all freedoms, this is open to abuse. Recent calls on restructure, quite proper and a legitimate debate, has let in highly irresponsible groups to call for dismemberment of the country. We cannot and we will not allow such advocacy. As a younger officer, I took part from the beginning to the end in our tragic civil war, causing about 2 million lives, resulting in fearful destruction and untold suffering. Those who are agitating for a rerun were not born by 1967 and have no idea of the horrendous consequences of the civil conflict which we went through. I am very disappointed that the responsible leaders of these communities do not warn their hot-headed youth what the country went through. Those who were there should tell those who were not there the consequences of such folly. At all events, proper dialogue and any desired constitutional changes should take place in a rational manner at the national and state assemblies. These are the proper and legal fora for national debate, not some lopsided, undemocratic body with predetermined set of objectives. Government is keeping up the momentum of dialogue with stakeholders in the Niger Delta to keep the peace. We intend to address genuine grievances of the communities. Government is grateful to the responsible leadership of those communities and will pursue lasting peace in the Niger Delta. On security, Nigerians must be grateful to our gallant armed forces for rolling back the frontiers of Boko Haram's terrorism defeating them and reducing them to cowardly attacks on soft and vulnerable targets. Nigeria is grateful to its neighbors and the international community for the collective efforts to defeat this worldwide menace of terrorism. Not even the most organized and most equipped police and security forces in the world can escape the menace of modern-day terrorism, as we have seen in recent years in Europe and other parts of the world. But we are not letting up. Our armed forces, in an effort to enhance the operational capability of troops of Operation Lafia Dole, have established mobile strike teams in the northeast. These will ensure the final push to wipe out the remnants of Boko Haram. In addition, through targeted air strikes, most of the leadership and identified logistic bases and routes of the insurgents have been neutralized. The armed forces have established a naval presence in the Lake Chad Basin as part of the coordinated military efforts to curtail the movements or re-emergence of the sect in the area. Government is working around the clock to ensure release.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of the president's speech, but you can actually watch the full one online. It's on top of YouTube. Now, looking at the speech, the president actually highlighted a lot of things where they actually affect us Nigerians. He talked about insecurity. He talked about people calling for the vision, even bringing about civil war coming back again, and a lot of things. And Nigerians, they attack him. They talk, say, come, you have no idea of the issues where Nigerians they face. And yet you're going to wonder, why are you attacking? I think, personally, I think, say, yeah, for addressing all the issues where Nigerians face, then definitely that was a good speech.
Well, everything where would they go through, everybody go get different sides of the story. You know, a lot of people don't already talk their own opinion of waiting in talk. And one of the basic things we need addressing security.
Yeah.
Is that not an obvious thing where all of us they battle? And anybody we don't see war happen, go no say, no be something that anybody wants to go through. But because Nigerians are looking for change, then they look for points where you go take hold, say, okay, these are the things where government don't put for ground, where they work to bring about this change where they talk. If everybody talks about insecurity, would you say security is better?
But just to even say something, now let's just pick out some points from the president's speech. Now, he talks, say, I'm not going to allow anybody to dismember the country. Now, we see a lot of hate speeches every day.
When they talk, when they said, I will not allow anybody to dismember, some people will tell you that why has the president not named Fulani herdsmen terrorists? Why did he call IPOB terrorists?
But
they'll talk, say they don't want anybody.
He did not call IPOB terrorists.
The courts
did. The army actually called IPOB terrorists.
Whether they call them, whoever called them terrorists or not, there's a silence accent to some things, even if you didn't say it by yourself. That's an agency of the government.
But you know what I like, Lolo, about the speech? You say, you know, come outside, talk, say, IPOB, you want to dismember our country.
That is the problem. Omnibus statement. That is why people can start to punch your hole. When you say an omnibus statement, I will not allow anybody. People start to say, oh, are you talking to us?
No, but when
you point
at somebody, then people will talk and say, so why are you just looking at this one? Just like what
but some people will tell you that if you really knew what he was talking about, he will mention. And let people know categorically that I'm not generalizing. Some will tell you that this is a coward speech.
Okay, now, you know what? I understand, because how you they talk now, waiting a lot of Nigerians, they come outside talk.
Exactly.
Now, let's make we read waiting the president talk as regards to dismember anybody who want to actually spoil Nigeria. He talks saying, recent calls on restructuring, quite proper in a legitimate debate, as letting highly irresponsible groups to call for dismemberment of the country. We cannot and will not allow such advocacy. According to the president, he talks, say, those where they actually come outside for restructuring through violence were not in 1967 during the Nigeria Civil War. That means they're not there when Nigeria fights civil war.
That
so
means
you are calling
younger,
Now, you are calling for restructuring. Look at the president's words. You are calling for restructuring through violence.
And we know that there were the agitation.
Because even the Fulani herdsmen too.
Whether we like it or not, there's no revolution that doesn't come with bloodshed. There is no amount of dialogue that you say that they want to dialogue. I look at all the dialogue where they come and don't do. The ones they did with health workers, has he achieved much gain? They did it in times past. They are still owing them. There are still issues unsettled. We've had dialogue, we've had a state of emergency in many parts of the country. Kidnapping is still going on. Boko Haram is still doing what they are doing. So sometimes you are wondering that, is it the time that we want you to make vague statements?
But what should he say? That really, what should he say? Because even talking about Boko Haram, he talks say government will continue to support the armed forces and other security agencies to fight not only terrorism, but kidnapping, armed robberies, herdsmen, farmers, violence, and to ensure peace, stability, and security for inside the country.
Everybody will tell you that.
Everything.
I know he addressed everything in that particular one. Yeah. At least that one is a little more encompassing. But the thing is, everybody will tell you, say, now so that they talk. Because we have been fighting Boko Haram how many years now? Yoruba go talk say, kaka ki kokore yaje.
What does it mean?
You can understand that because now something where you like where. They say instead of make witch, make she tire. She can't use all her pikin born girls. So what do you think say she born fugra? Little witches.
So why you think say I go like her?
You know you are spiritual, you be girl, you go understand the witch angle.
That really cracked me up.
But Nigerians are just tired of statements.
So what should the president say?
They want to see more action.
But Lord, don't we see actions as regards to Boko Haram?
They want to see more action. It's easy for us in the South to talk that, hey, they see action. But people that have been displaced, 5, 7 years, 10 years ago, do we have IDP camps? But now we have IDP camp in almost all the...
It's populated now.
In almost all the states of the Federation. Many states are still groaning under the agony of paying fees on legitimate ones, as in maybe all their parastatals, health, education, infrastructure. Now, IDP camps is still draining some of the resources of these states. And you think these same people will share our opinion and tell us that they are fighting Boko Haram?
Now, if you were in the president's shoes, would you have done a different speech? I'm just saying...
It's not about a speech.
Because now
there is no watertight speech. Yeah. That is why I always say that if a team is what writes a president's speech, as far as I'm concerned, everybody that wrote that speech must know that they are going to say one thing or the other. There is no watertight speech. Whether even if he said it even more beautifully than he said this, we will still puncture holes. And because people are coming from the position of their pain.
Lastly, should we take the president's talk on corruption?
Yeah.
Now, in commerce, I talk, say, we knew fighting corruption would be easy. Now, admitting, say, fighting corruption is not actually easy. Is this not a good speech?
It is for me. I actually
because
commend...
Because we see and say it's not easy.
I commend him because sometimes leadership doesn't mean that you don't take hard choices or that you are no longer human. Because a lot of people think that because you are the president, you don't make decisions you regret. At least I have not been a president, but I've watched a couple of...
Been a leader in different ways,
yes,
truly.
I'm a leader in my own way.
Of course.
But I've seen some of these films, and you see spot-on decision that you have to make a life and death situation. It can go either way. It's a big burden. And we know that this corruption, are you not surprised at the amount of decadence in this country?
I totally understand. Now, what do you think about the president's speech? Follow us, Yan, on top our Facebook. We did there at Wazobia Max. On Twitter, we did there at Wazobia Max. Instagram, at Wazobia Max. And also on YouTube, at Wazobia Max. But make sure you put the hashtag, the Good Morning Nigeria Show. You feel it's a good speech or the speech not actually address the plight of Nigerians. We're going to need to buy a small break now. Enter inside our newsroom. When we come back, more to come on Top the Morning Show.
All right, you're still on top of the Good Morning Nigeria Show. I hope you enjoy every of those sporting stories. Well, God, you there don't give you. Right about now, we tell you at the beginning of the show. So we go carry Wakasi down with the CP of police and Commissioner of Police. I will follow and discuss one or two things. We won't bring them to you now. So relax and enjoy the interview.
As part of our corporate social responsibility, we're in the office of the police PRO SP Ifedolapo Badmus. In the spirit of independence, we just want to have a chat with her so that she can actually just tell us a couple of things that the Nigerian police is doing, has done before, and they're still doing right now. Good to host us in your office, madam.
Thank you very much.
All right, madam, Nigeria is 57 years old, and as a matter of fact, we just want to find out how the Nigerian police has fared in 57 years. We're not even talking about going down to history. You are a public relations person, and we just want to find out, what do you think is the image of the Nigerian police in Nigeria as at today?
Well, let me start by saying congratulations to our dear nation, Nigeria. And, you know, for coming through 50 years. I mean, it's a long time ago. And now coming to your question of how has Nigerian police force, you know, fared in the last 57 years, thereabout. I want to let you know that in all, it's not been bad at all. And you can only compare if you have, you know, two things to compare, you know, together. But as it is, Nigerian police remains Nigerian police. There is no other police settings you want to compare with Nigerian police force. So in all, I would say the police organization has fared. So all in all, I think at 57, we've not done badly. Since independence, the force has been the only organization policing Nigeria. And we've not had any opportunity to invite the FBI, the Cameroon police, you understand, or the Ghana police to come and police Nigeria. All along, it's been Nigerian police force. So what does that suggest to us? We don't have another choice. So we support the police and get it stronger.
All right. Would you say that the Nigerian police has been underfunded, considering the number of people enrolled in the Nigerian police today? We have a figure in the public domain saying that we have about 371,000 people, but there is plan to increase the number of recruitment to about 650,000. Would you say that the Nigerian police is underfunded in terms of apparatus, gadgets that the Nigerian police need to really operate effectively?
Well, let me answer that by saying your guess is as good as mine. Everyone tried to, you know, take a recourse back to American police, to, you know, the British police, you know, and everyone wants us to perform.
On the last note, what would be your security word, or a watchword, or a congratulatory message to Nigerians from the Nigerian police for the independence?
Well, let me start with the watchword. The watchword is one, security is everyone's business. And if you see something, you must say something, because the backlash might also affect you. And then coming to Nigeria at 57, well, I'm proud I'm a Nigerian. I don't want to be anything else. I have a trust in Nigeria, and I believe that Nigeria will be better. So on this anniversary of 57 years, I want to congratulate each and every one of us. And I want to congratulate Nigeria for making it this far. And I believe we will continue to make it together as one. So on this note, from all of us, the Nigerian Police Force, Zone 2, Command in particular, I wish Nigeria and Nigerians happy celebrations.
All right, we've been talking to SP Ifedolapo Badmus, VP Police PRO, in charge of Zone 2, and that is Lagos State and Ogun State. Thank you very much, madam, for granting us this interview.
The pleasure is mine.
Happy Independence to you, too.
Same to you. Thank you.
I am a Nigerian. I am 1 in 5 Africans. I am 1 in 8 black people anywhere in the world. I am a Nobel Prize winner, an Olympic gold medalist, a Grammy Award winner, a soccer champion, a Prince of the Vatican, an Oscar nominee, a giant of literature, a distinguished scientist, a musical icon. My roots lie in the dusty Sahara of the north, in the rich rainforests of the east, in the rocky hills of the west, in the oil-filled swamps of the delta, in the warmth of our villages and vibrance of our cities. My strength flows from the waters of the Niger and the Benue. My joy springs from the rush of Guerrera Falls and the natural wonders of Yankari. Nigeria is my rock. Nigeria is my hope. Nigeria is my home. I am the voice of 200 tribes speaking 300 languages. I am the dance of the circle of life. I am the laughter of the world's happiest people. I am nourished by the crop of the soil, fed by the bounty of the rivers. I am your neighbor. I am your friend. I am a warrior, priest, king. I am a mother, teacher, queen. I am my brother's keeper. I am a sage from an ancient civilization. I'm a child in the youngest nation on earth. I am the beauty. I am the sound. I am the vision. I am the spirit. I am the passion. I am the soul of a continent. I am a Nigerian.
Yes, I am
I have goosebumps all over.
Yeah. Now, just to say, this was a poem written by Nkuru Asika and read by Akim Kai Kazim. Now, if you don't watch Last Flight to Abuja, In Day for Inside Even Day for X-Men, and some other international movies.
But, you know, the delivery of spoken word, you know, it touched the essence of our soul. And I just look at us as a people. Nigeria, we have a heritage, a rich heritage. When I think of the likes of, have you ever read Efuru by Flora Wangpa? I remember Things Fall Apart. These are literature books that are of international standard. If we're going to come to our own generation, we have the Adichie, Chimamanda, where they push forward. Nigerians are intellectuals.
And I would like to say something now, looking beyond the art of poetry or even of writing novels, I think Nigerians right now, they need to be proud of their country and also our heritage. Because I understand, say, things where they happen for Nigeria, I know they make us they proud, especially for those where they are abroad. It's very easy for us to say a lot of bad things about Nigeria. But for once, can we just think about the natural blessings that we get?
That we get naturally inside this country. We are a resilient people, strong. There's nothing wrong with our blackness.
I know.
Now, they always think that every time when I look at any of this medical, I've never seen an intestine that it had a different color. We're all inside the same way.
Person say, go every country in the world, and you must find a Nigerian doing greatness there.
Yes.
So Nigerians are
I'm proud to be a Nigerian. And once more, we say happy birthday to Nigeria.
Yeah.
We can only hope that things will keep getting better. We were a resilient people, great nation, good people. Now we be. From me and everybody where they behind the scene, minus one person, I'm saying make you get better day. Rest well, iron your clothes if light today, so that you go feel ready for work tomorrow.
I tell you, and I also like that We Are the Future song, a very, very nice song. And even Great Nation too. So please.
Yes, the land is green too.
Oh, the land is great. We get a lot of wonderful songs where actually depict within Nigeria and Nigerians be. But please, they're proud of your country and happy independence, Nigeria. 57 years, we are big now.
It's not big, so
we are
almost
very
an
big.
old man.
I'm telling you. All right, join us
see you
again tomorrow. Luchi go there with us.
Yes.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.